Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. In this video I'm going to talk about top, I guess, I don't know if this is top 10, but my tips anyway if you are thinking of doing Uber driving full-time. So the very first one would be your choice of vehicles. I would choose a second-hand car, buy a second-hand car that is roughly about 6 to 7 years old, a 4-cylinder, 4 doors. If you can, obviously get a bigger boot, at roughly about $10,000 price point or lower if you can. The reason why I chose that is because one, is the cheapest product. You want to get your capital back as quickly as possible, and very economical in fuel, as you don't want to get a bigger car that is going to tune in a lot of fuel. That's, I guess, my tip number one. Number two would be, if you're looking at this as a full-time, you always have you have to remember, keep that in mind, that your car is a working vehicle, so be sure that it's actually being serviced regularly to your choice of mechanics. Don't try to do it at home, but at the same time, don't put them in service in a dealership, because they will rip you off. So I guess to a a garage or a mechanic or so, scheduled services is a must. There's no if about it. The other one that I can think of is make sure that your car is actually have aircon, and the aircon is actually working, because during summer it gets really hot, really hot. Here in Sydney anyway, you could get up to about 40 degrees outside, so that means inside it will be a lot more hotter. Tint your windows. It does help a lot during summertime. Installed a reverse sensor in your car. Sometimes during the night when you park somewhere and you can't really see much in the dark, especially in a high dense area such as Newtown as well as the city. Sometimes they install a pole behind you without you be able to see it. So reverse sensor is definitely. Dash cam is another thing that I would recommend to use. One that have a looping system, so in case you don't have to worry where if it works, like you don't have to readjust the SD card. I don't know if you need the one at the back, but I just installed the one at the front, because majority of the footage is good enough anyway, in case if you have an accident, because you really do on the road for a long time. Let's say if you're on the road for about 10 hours or something, you're scanning constantly of the traffic and the traffic light and everything else. So having a dash cam, just in case if you have an accident, whether it's your fault or not, makes it easier to send it to the insurance company, and to make it faster on the administration, so they can fix the car quickly as well. That's that. The other one that I can think of would be really take it easy on the road. Really take it easy. I know most in the city anyway, if it says 40, go 40, or if not lower. If the customer give you a pressure of getting there quickly, like, tell them, listen, I'm not going to risk my points or the way I drive, just for your convenience. I have told people that, sorry mate, I'm not going to speak for you. So and for that, like, big whoop if they're gonna give you like lower star rating, like 1-star rating, because you're bound to actually go through roughly about 100 passengers or so a week, on an average about 15 to 20 passengers or so a day, if you're doing this full-time. Really take care of your body. You really do need to take I guess 1 or 2 days rest. No, you don't have to do consecutive. Maybe every 3 or 4 days or something, take a day off. That way your body is well rested, because you get monotonous driving the same road over and over again. I don't provide water or gum in the car, purely in the sense of, well, I try to minimize, I try to help, put my 2 cents on helping this earth to reduce the plastic usage. 2 would be, some people out there, when they drink the water, they don't really take them with them. They think it's like an aeroplane or some sort of service where you can just leave your rubbish in the car. That will annoy your next passenger. So that's the reason why I don't put, a bottle of water in the car. Dustpan and broom is probably it that you need. Cleanliness, maybe a cloth. So those are the 3 things that I have for cleaning the car. Get a rubber mat for your car, because every so often, maybe about, let's say about twice a week, that I do clean my car. Now, I don't put my car in a car wash or one of those cleaning services. I just pretty much, if you can vacuum your car, that's great. But if you don't, like on the run while you're out and about, I just brush it off using the dustpan and broom. I wash my car roughly about maybe once a week, twice a week. Most passengers, the way I look at it is this: they just look at the interior. As long as the interior is clean, they don't really mind the outside of it, because mostly they understand, like, this is a working car in a splash of mud here and there, which you don't really get often anyway. You should be fine. I don't even have an air freshener in the car, by the way, so I don't invest any of those water, air freshener or mint. It's an expense. Yes, it is an expense on the car, but at the same time, you try to minimize your expenses as little as possible. Roadside assist is definitely need to purchase. I had experience once where I had a flat battery, so that is definitely, it's a must. It doesn't matter how good of a car you have, because at the end of the day, you are going to be on the road. Your wear and tear on the car will be a lot more quickly than your regular car. If you can, obviously, get a second car, purely just for work. Have a separate bank account. That would mean it's a lot more easier to figure out your expenses, especially for your business. You are a subcontractor, you are when you're doing this type of gig, separate bank account. It minimizes the try and figure out, like, did you spend this on personal, or did you spend this on business? So that is definitely it makes it a lot more easier. And I put down roughly about $400 to $500 in there. That $400 or $500 per week, that is. Also, the easiest way that I can calculate when it comes to paying GST is whatever your average take-home pay is, that's how much you get to pay to the government once a quarter. So if you're averaging earning about $1,000 per week, so $1,000 a quarter you're gonna pay as part of your GST. So that's $1,000 per week, doing ride sharing only. So, and that's what I usually do. I always make sure, okay, then, so this week I earn, let's say, $500, and next week I'm gonna earn, let's say, $1,000. So I take the average of those two and just put that aside, if you're just working for those 2 weeks. But because you're doing it for a whole year, it kind of fluctuate. And also for like expenses on your vehicle, like maintenance as well as tolls, I put it in that account. Be sure when you are stopping, if you can, obviously, stop in the right place. Be mindful that in some instances there are ranges. I mean, don't get me wrong, I dropped off a lot of people in the city as well, and I had one time when I actually got booked because I was stopping in a no stopping zone. So that wasn't cool. So that day I worked for free in a sense. So be mindful of that. If you're not comfortable working in the city, don't work in the city. Just if somebody drop you off in the city, then you drop them off and then drive out from the city as quickly as possible. So do that if it requires. But if you want to learn a lot more quicker, then you're going to drive around the city as well. Over time, you will get to know the city. You will get to know your city anyway. You get to know the roads quite quickly. I've done roughly about 15,000 passengers or so. By I think about let's say about 5,000, you get to know the city. Between 2,000 to 5,000 passengers, you get to know your area quite well. So hopefully this is kind of helpful for you guys. If you do have any questions, by all means write them in a comment below. I will answer them as quickly as possible. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Cheers, bye.